my brothers and sisters, being a farmer and a gardener, I once visited the orchard of Mr. and Mrs. Hamula, an orange orchard, and I admired that orange orchard. So I decided to get some orange trees also, so that I may also have some oranges in my compound. So I was directed to go and see Mr. Piri. When I reached Mr. Piri's place, I found him working in his garden, and he gave me a seat and asked me what I wanted. I told him that I wanted some orange trees. He told me that just wait, I'll try and graft some for you. So I did understand what he meant by grafting. So I asked him what he meant by grafting some orange trees for me. He told me that he was going to take the branch of the main tree of a lemon or a grape and the branch of an orange and join them together so that they really become one. The branch added on the tree will truly be part of it. It will no longer be two different trees, but one single one, expected to produce nice, good, and juicy orange fruits. Today, my brothers and sisters, we are gathered here to witness to the wedding ceremony of Nathan and Mercy. The two have decided to graft themselves to become one in this celebration with their different characters and personalities. They want to ask God to bless their joining together. God is the one who ordained marriage, and it is an important sacrament in the church, just like other sacraments, an opener to family life. You are there, and I'm here because of marriage. We are happy, therefore, with you, Nathan and Mercy, for being sure that God will answer your prayers and bless this, your marriage, which He will definitely do. God is going to bless this marriage. God indeed is going to give you the graces and the blessings that you need in this marriage. But in turn, God is also going to ask for something from you in your marriage. And this thing is the thing that is going to make this marriage strong. Like the grafting of an orange branch, what God wants is that you work at joining together your two lives, so that you may truly become one. That is what God is asking of you, to join your two lives together so that you may truly become one. Joining your lives together is not something that you do today, once and for all. Just as we bless the marriage, we join the two of you together. That will not be the end. You have to work at it all the time, every day. When God created man and woman, He had a wonderful plan for man and woman. He wanted them to be truly one. Did you notice what Adam said when he saw his wife? Adam exclaimed and he said, "This at last is bone from my bones and flesh from my flesh." Our bones and our flesh are truly part of our body and part of ourselves. So you can't separate your flesh and your bones from yourself. Our bones and our flesh are part of our body and part of ourselves. That is, when the man spoke these words, he was saying that he saw his wife as a truly part of himself. This at last is bone of my bones and flesh from my flesh. He was seeing the woman as part of himself. And that is what is expected of you, Nathan, to see in Mercy someone who is part of you. Not just another person that you are going to be staying with or to live with. In doing so, we shall never hear stories of wife battering and wife abuse, because you are going to see yourself in her. The story ends explaining to us God's plan, as it says, "This is why a man leaves his father and mother and joins himself to his wife, and they become one body." Becoming one body is again a first step. It is the sign of becoming one in your whole being. It means that as you live together, you try to grow closer together in the different things that make up your life. That is what it means. Becoming one body means growing closer together in the different things that make up your life. Becoming one in the way you look at life. What is important and what is not important. Becoming one in making decisions. Talking together about what you are to do or not to do as husband and wife. Becoming one in taking responsibility in your home, each one taking his share of the way. Becoming one in bringing up the children that God will give you. This doesn't mean you always think and feel the same. God was mindful that man and woman are different, who are trying to become one, grafting themselves. But it means that there will be a certain amount of give and take between yourselves. There will be a time of self-giving, a time of giving and take. Not to be Mr. Right or Mrs. Right all the time. At times, you, Nathan, you give up your ideas for the ideas of mercy. And the other way, this will keep your marriage going. St. Paul, writing to the Colossians, talks about qualities that help marriage to be more and more one. He talks about sincere compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience, and adds good advice for people. And this is the advice that he gives to the people who are getting newly married. To be compassionate to one another, to be kind to one another, to be humble before the other, to be gentle and to be patient. And St. Paul goes on to say, bear with one another, forgive each other as soon as a quarrel begins. All this, Nathan and Mercy, calls for humility, forgiving each other as soon as a quarrel begins. If you are proud, you never ask for forgiveness from your partner. So pride has to be worked at so that humility controls your marriage. Compassion, gentleness. And if you are to do this, this will help you not to use abusive language to one another. We shall never hear that Mercy wanted to stab the husband, or the husband wanted to stab the wife. And we shall never hear stories about gun shooting in your marriage, because you are going to bear with one another, forgive each other as soon as the quarrel begins. He says, above all these clothes, put on love. You should love, you should love, you should love, you should love one another. If love evaporates from your marriage, then there will be disaster. If love evaporates from your marriage, then there will be disaster. So the love you have started with, that has to be maintained. Reminding yourselves of that first day when you met. When you have difficulties and challenges, you remind yourselves of that day, of what you saw in the other, that you keep your light of love kindled. There are three enemies that I normally see in marriage. There are many, but these three, I normally see them. Selfishness is one of them. You just think about yourself most of the time. I like this. That pleases me. I want that. I want to do this. I and I and I and I. You forget that you are two. This bond of marriage makes you one, going to live or to lead a unity of love. So if you have the mentality of I and I, this way of thinking will destroy what you are called to be, one. So don't allow this enemy of selfishness to come around your home, to come around your very selves. The other enemy is lack of communication. Most of the marriages have failed to work because the couples have stopped communicating, be it physical or emotional. They don't communicate. And if you don't communicate, you cut everything. And that unity is destroyed. So you have to learn to communicate. Even in simplest things, communicate. So that there won't be any misunderstanding between yourselves. Communication removes misunderstanding between yourselves. And the third enemy of marriage that I've seen, which I see so much to be crucial, are these words. So then, what God has united, man must not divide. Marriage, Nathan and Mercy, is for two people. Where you first met and proposed, we were not there. Were you there? Were you there? Where they first met and proposed, we were not there. So, those who come in and as third people or partners in your marriages or in your marriage will only be destroyers. They were not there. So don't allow these destroyers who were not there when you began everything to destroy what you have begun. So, be it friends, be it relatives, be it parents. Parents sometimes can also be a problem. So we should make sure that all the time, you have to remind yourselves that this thing you have begun is for two of you. You ask for advice here and there, and you have to decipher. Is this advice building your relationship or destroying it? So, my brothers and sisters, we who are witnessing to this wedding ceremony, marriage celebration, we have to give positive advice as witnesses, as friends, as parents to this newly or almost to be newlywed. Let us put aside jealousy. Let us put aside hatred. Let us put aside ill feelings. This is just a newly wedded couple. Why should you be jealous of them? Why should you have ill feelings? They are just newly wedded, unexperienced, who need your concerted effort to help them to grow into mature and adults in marriage. So, parents, relatives, and friends, let us all be there for this newly wedded couple. Amen. So lastly, when I was questioning both of you, Nathan and Martha and Mercy, you told me that no one was forcing you to enter into this marriage. Am I right? Am I right? No one is forcing you to enter into this marriage. So my only advice and last words, you have decided freely to enter into this marriage. Don't let anyone force you out of it.